Hi, this is Tom Stone. Welcome to this demonstration session.
Hi,
Hi, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, pleasure. So, tell me what you'd like to have be better.
Some, just some probably more stress running through me than than I'd like. Some self-imposed, some probably more. I don't know. I think I've probably always described it as anxiety, although frankly, I've seen some very anxious people, and I probably don't qualify as one of them. So
What?
maybe trending toward that, but not, not quite at some people's level.
Well, everyone's own situation is precious to them, though. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
okay. Do you get anxious about any particular things?
Um,
Money, relationships, whatever.
I I spend a good percentage of my life focused on work, and so it usually probably revolves more around work stuff, kind of, probably I would say, and within that, maybe some of that's relationship driven as well, not, sort of, just like harmony, harmony. I'm responsible for a lot of things and also leading teams and such, and, can be, people can be complicated. And so there's, there's
Yeah.
probably too much
What do
energy.
you do? What do you
Sorry.
do? What do you do?
I help run a nonprofit organization that basically develops talent for business.
Oh, cool. Okay. Very good. Okay. So if we could improve on this anxious stuff, whether it's self-imposed or just habitual or whatever,
Yeah.
that would be that would be a good thing, huh?
Yes.
Okay. You may know from your sister that I use this muscle testing.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to test on your behalf, which even though I'm on the other side of the world, I can do,
Hmm.
amazingly enough.
Yep.
So I've been doing that for, gosh, 25 years or so. In
Hmm.
any case, I'll do that, and I'm just going to check that this topic is the optimal one for us to work on for Catherine this evening. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. There's something I'm going to cross-check. There's something that'd be even more useful or valuable to her for us to work on tonight. Actually, there's some other topic that might be even better.
Okay.
What else? What, that's fantastic. This wonderful muscle testing thing gives us all kinds of insights. So, what else in your life could be better? There's something
Hmm.
more stressful than the anxiety.
um, hmm.
And maybe we'll get both things done. We'll see.
Right. I mean, so what I'm expending some real time and energy around right now is trying to figure out, ironically, my own next career step, and what that looks like, from a life perspective as I turn 40 in a couple of months.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that is both exciting and also, I'm kind of at a little bit of a loss in terms of knowing what that looks like, which is sort of ironic because that's what I do for a living. And so for me to, not be clear on my own is humbling at best. So I think, there may be something within that as well that, I don't know, that I'm not sure how I would summarize that in terms of category, but that's perhaps the situation that I'm kind of grappling with right now, and that'll have implications for, where I live and if I, travel abroad or don't, and like different elements of
Sure,
what
sure,
life around me looks like.
sure. It makes sense. So, some improved clarity about direction and purpose.
I like it. Yep.
Let's check that. This is a higher priority topic than the anxiety. Okay, we can probably deal with both in this. We can probably deal with both which would be
Yeah.
great. Okay. This is in a sense a form of anxiety anyway. It's a kind of like a little bit of concern about the uncertainty of the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So let's resolve this fear of uncertainty issue, lack of clarity. It's both things. Yeah, it's both a little bit of fear and also some lack of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some barriers to having the clarity. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 of them. Okay, 3 barriers to being clear about what you want to do. Hard to be clear about what you want to do when you're, got some stuff in the way. So
Right.
we'll clear that out of the way. We can also help reduce or maybe even eliminate being in the, discomfort with being in the uncertainty of the situation.
Okay.
And then we'll see about dealing with the rest of the anxiety stuff. Maybe we can get it all done. I've got no appointments after this, so I'm yours. Okay, great. So the place for us to start is for clearing these barriers to having the clarity of what you want to do. Yeah, and it's good for us to have an intention statement regarding this. Yeah, so if you were clear about it, let's just talk about this whole clarity thing, because there are a couple of different aspects to clarity. One of them is having some interference, like some anxiousness or it could be anything, it could be something that just sort of blocks you from being able to sense within, because somewhere inside yourself, okay, you know what you want, what you want to do, you have a feeling for it, but there's something kind of holding you back from, really sort of embracing that and going for it. Okay, so we want to clear that up. Okay, but the other thing is timing. The other thing is timing, and the timing issue is one of, sometimes it's not time to know yet. Okay, like it's kind of like if the universe sent you an autoresponder and it gave you the information and it was too soon and you took action on it, it'd be like the wrong timing, right?
Right.
So the universe has this amazing way of giving us what we need right when we need it, and not sooner just because we want it sooner.
Right.
So this is also part of the issue. Yeah, that's part of the issue. So we'll take care of that too, just so you can be, because even with the barriers gone, sometimes it's not time to know yet, but you want to just be sort of in the comfort of the uncertainty. That's really kind of the real issue here,
right.
Not the business about, what's it going to be, right? Okay. So very good. So we'll start with the first. We need the intention statement. Yeah. So I want you to say, let's craft a statement that you can say that will give us the real sense that when you're congruent with it, when you're resonating with it, that this will be this state in which you have the clarity. And it may not be time to make some, jump to light speed or whatever you're going to do, but at least you'll be in a state in which you're clear about what direction you want to go. Okay. So if you could put that into a sentence, like I'm completely clear about where I'm going next, or something like that, how would you like to say it? As if it were already so.
Already, right. So I'm clear and comfortable in having chosen my next adventure in life.
Oh, I like that. That sounds good. I'm clear and comfortable with having chosen, or maybe you could say it with knowing.
Yep.
Because you might not be choosing, you might just be kind of aligning yourself with what's already there, right? Yeah.
Right.
With having, I'm clear and comfortable with knowing. Knowing exactly what did you say? Next adventure.
Just my next adventure in my life.
That's it. I'm just going to write it down so we can check it at the end. I'm clear and comfortable with exactly my next adventure in my life. I like it. Sounds good. This is the optimal intention for, it's Catherine, right?
Yeah.
This is optimal intention for Catherine for this particular part of the session. Yes, this is good. Okay, so now I want you to say it. Say, I'm clear and comfortable with knowing exactly my next adventure in my life.
I'm clear and comfortable in knowing exactly my next adventure in life.
Yeah, and you're not resonating with that. That's why it's not happening.
Okay. I
Okay.
think the word exactly isn't working for me.
Okay, let's take exactly out. I'm clear and comfortable with knowing my next adventure in my life. Try like that.
I'm clear and comfortable in knowing my next adventure in my life.
Yeah, it's still not resonating with it, so that's okay. Yeah, I think I added the word exactly. My apologies. Your wording is
That's okay.
feels more natural. Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So you're not resonating with that. 1, 2, 3, and there are 3 barriers. Okay, and the first one is coming from a kind of conditioning that has to do with the creation of expectations. And let me just explain this a little bit too, because this is an important distinction. One way of operating is to make something up in your mind that you think you want, and then you start believing that's what you want, but it's not actually what sort of is like there for you, right? It's something you're making up in your mind. This is kind of like an ego-based thinking, right? And what tends to happen is that you become kind of attached to your expectation of how you think it's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen because it can't happen because it only exists in your mind. It doesn't actually, it's not like in the real world, right? So something like that is at least a part of what's going on, and it's the first thing we need to clear up. So do you have some expectations regarding what the next step is going to be?
I'm not sure I have any expectations. I think I have, I think there's not a lot of inspiration toward, around anything. And
Not much juice.
yeah, I think, and some of that I think is energy based. Like, I think I've just been running so hard for so long that there's just not a lot in the coffers to pull from. So it's part of like maybe my hunch that maybe I just need to like really step out for a bit and not do as taxing work or as complex work that I do all the time. So there's that. Yeah, I think I don't know. I've always kind of had a bit of a like since I was young, kind of a nagging like, what really is my purpose, type of question. I usually ask it a couple times a year and really I don't always get much closer to a clear response.
Sure. Well, with 3 barriers in there that would be blocking you, that makes sense. It would be hard to know. So let's see if we can get this figured out. So there's some kind of expectation that was not met in the past where there's still some lingering influence of that. Yeah. Is the current work not living up to what your original expectation of what it would be when you took it on?
Yeah, I think there's some of that. I mean, I've been here for like 12 years, so I mean, it's been a long time, and there is definitely some disappointment right now around how my boss is leading, and
Okay.
and so
You had expected it to be better.
I certainly would have hoped and maybe expected it to be better. Yeah.
Okay. So this is part of the problem right here. Yeah. So do you have any concerns about you might find yourself in a similar situation if you make a change? Or is this actually one of the motivations for making a change?
it's one of the motivations for making a change. And yeah, I mean, admittedly, others might, others and or I, might fall into a similar trap as leaders. And so,
So this is the reaction that we need to clear up. Yeah. So if you're in a state where you have some even sort of subliminal concern that, gosh, if I get out of this situation, who knows, maybe I'll get in one similar and that won't be
right.
fun. And, like, I want to do something which really rocks, like I really have a
Mm-hmm.
great time, not this kind of thing. So, okay, good. So there's a kind of it's the disappointment part.
Mm-hmm.
It's the disappointment. Yeah, let's clear that up.
Okay.
Now, when you think about the situation, can you sense the feeling of the disappointment?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, usually this kind of energy, emotional energy, has a kind of cloud-like structure to it. The energy sort of radiates out from your body and fills up the space around you, and you're sort of inside of it, kind of almost like oppressed by it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Can you feel that?
Yep.
Okay, so this is pretty simple to clear. Go ahead and close your eyes and I'll guide you through the process of getting rid of this. Basically, it's kind of like having dark glasses on. It sort of filters everything, colors everything, makes it look sort of, well, this whole career thing's kind of disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to do is to just go see how big that cloud of energy is. And the way you do that is you let your awareness move out into the space around you further and further until you find the place where the energy sort of fades off into the surrounding quietness. Because there's a limit to the size of this energy cloud. It doesn't go on forever. So just let your awareness move out there, and you'll reach a point where it just starts becoming sort of less, just sort of fades off into the quietness surrounding it. And we're interested in accessing that quietness that's outside the cloud of energy. So when you find it, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. So go a little bit deeper into the quietness, a little bit further away from the edge of the energy field. And you do that by just noticing the area of the quietness that's a little further away. This gives the distinction between the energy and the quietness, makes it even more clear. And then you go much, much deeper into the quietness, quite far away from the energy field. And allow yourself to notice how vast and limitless the quietness is. Like there's no end to it. Yeah, kind of a nice place to hang out. Peaceful, expansive. Notice that there's no disappointment feeling out here. It's just quiet. Now, as you look back on the energy cloud of the disappointment that you were inside of just moments ago, what's happening to it now?
It just doesn't have as much power as it did.
Right.
Roll.
Doesn't have the grip on you that it had when you were inside of it. Yeah. So usually it'll be kind of getting weaker or sort of fading away. Now, you can also see that there's this feeling of disappointment is a reaction to a story that you've had running in your mind probably this whole time of 12 years. Oh, I thought it was going to be better than this, or something like that. You get that?
I guess there, yeah.
Yeah, something like that's running it kind of subliminally in the background. Now, what we want to do is to challenge and question the usefulness of keeping this story alive in your awareness, because the disappointment is actually a reaction to the story, not really to the circumstances.
Mm.
Okay? And so what we want to do is to check out, is this story in fact helping you to have the career and the life that you want? No way, huh?
Right.
Right. So is it a good use of your life energy to allow this story to continue to be in your awareness?
Nope.
No, no way. And now that you're outside the cloud of energy and you can see things much more clearly from this perspective, can you get the sense that you actually are kind of empowered, like you have the choice of whether you allow this story to keep running in your awareness or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all you have to do is decide not to give it any energy anymore, and the story and any remaining energy about it just will collapse back into the nothingness out of which you created them in the first place.
Great.
And when the energy's gone, then it's gone. It doesn't come back. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So you can open your eyes. Okay. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Not difficult. Not difficult to do. Now, this is a wonderful technique. We call it the out technique because you go outside the energy. We used to have other more complicated names, but I simplified them for. I'm as you know, I'm in China at the moment, and the other names we had were kind of computer acronym names, and they didn't translate into Chinese very well. So we simplified it. So there are two techniques. One is for the internal, more kind of traumatic or emotionally painful energies that we store inside that feel like a kind of constriction. That's a different. We call that the in technique. We'll probably be using that too. And this one we just did is called the out technique. So we have in and out. It keeps it very simple.
Great.
So good job on that. Now the next barrier has to do with an issue of trusting yourself and trusting your intuition. Do you sometimes have an intuition and then you don't follow it, and then later you find out your intuition was absolutely right on, you could just kick yourself that you didn't follow it? You have that experience?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty common. This pretty much happens with everybody. And I spent quite a few years really investigating very deeply into why these kind of things really happen. Like, what's the deepest sort of causal level of why people don't do things like follow their intuition? And for the intuition, what I realized is that when we're very little, we do things kind of innocently, just sort of exploring our world, right? And sometimes we'll do things that we have no idea or we're not supposed to do, and we do them and our parents notice and then we get punished for it. You know, like maybe mom's away and we find her purse and find her lipstick, and the family dog comes up and we put it all over the dog, you know, something, whatever, or draw a picture all over the bedroom wall with a blue felt tip marker, whatever it is, and the parents get upset and we get punished for it because they're trying to socialize us through emotional manipulation. Right. It doesn't take many of those kind of experiences before we start to behave, and what happens is we have this sort of intuitive, creative idea, and we go to act on it, and we're about to act on it, and we say, "Oh, I better not do that. I got all hell to pay last time from that." We don't have the words for that. We're young to describe it in words, but it's a feeling, right? So what develops is intuition and then immediate fear of negative consequences afterwards. And you've got this going on, and it's going on with respect to this whole topic, and it actually impacts all kinds of things in your life. So let's clear this one up. This is like fear of punishment if you act on your intuition, right? And I'm going to give you to say that I'm going to muscle test, and we'll check it afterwards, okay? Say, I always act on my intuition every single time.
I always act on my intuition every single time.
Yeah, you're not resonating with that. So we want you to be solid for that. And this is the principal cause of not doing it, is this fear of punishment. Yeah, okay. So this is a very well suppressed fear. So we're going to use a special technique for finding the energy. And this energy is going to be one of these internal constriction, kind of tight knot or ball sort of energies inside, okay? And I'll guide you through the in technique for resolving it. So we start by using what's called locate, which helps us locate the energy. So go ahead and close your eyes and I'll walk you through it. What we do is we start by just noticing what the energy is like. We just start by noticing what the experience is like when we just sit quietly with our eyes closed. So Obviously, you can hear the sounds of my voice, other sounds in the environment. You can feel your body sitting in the chair. And the other primary thing that you experience is that you'll have thoughts coming and going in your mind. Now, as you notice the thoughts coming and going in your mind, I'd like you to do it in a particular way, and that is to just sort of observe them from a little bit of a distance. And just for now, don't be concerned about the meaning or the content of the thoughts. So you don't get sort of absorbed and wrapped up in them. You just sort of watch them or observe them from a little bit of a distance. That's pretty easy to do if you just have the intention to do that. Pretty easy to do, yeah. So now it's interesting that our thoughts occur in a background of silence. And that background of silence is actually our awareness. And normally we don't pay any attention to our awareness because there's nothing there. It's just quiet. But we're interested in actually becoming more aware of it now, because when you're in that quietness and you tell your body to show you a particular energy, which we're going to do in a few moments, then there's nothing in the way of you allowing yourself to feel the energy that the body shows you. So there's an analogy here that's very useful. If you look up at the sky on a partly cloudy day, you can see the clouds and you can see the sky. And the way you see the sky is very simple. You just look off to the side of the clouds, and there it is. So we're not looking for clouds or sky. This is just an analogy. But the thoughts occur in the mind in an analogous way. The thoughts are kind of like the clouds. The background of silence of your awareness is like the sky. And so the way you access it is very simple. You just notice the thought, one of the next thoughts that's coming along, and you just sort of look off to the side and notice that it's happening in a background of kind of emptiness or quietness. And again, normally we don't pay any attention to the quietness, so it's a little the opposite of what we're used to doing, but it's really easy to do. You just look off to the side and there it is. It's always there, just like the sky is always there behind the clouds. So each time a thought comes, it will interrupt the quietness that you're noticing, and all you have to do is look off to the side of the new thought and notice the quietness again, and just keep repeating that process, and you'll get a kind of series of tastes, little experiences of the quietness before each new thought comes. Go ahead and try that out. Starting to get a sense of that? Good, okay. So now that you have some access to that quietness, just tell your body by just having the thought, so body, show me the in-technique energy that is at the root of this fear of punishment if I act on my intuition. And pretty much immediately, the body will show you some tight, constricted place inside, and it'll feel like a kind of knot or ball of energy, kind of a tightness or pressure. Very often it'll be stored toward the center of your body in a chest or solar plexus or belly, someplace like that. Could be anywhere, but that's very common. Got something?
Yeah, I think it's probably mostly in my throat region.
Okay. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, I'm testing for you. That's it. Good. Okay. Now notice that if you bring your awareness closer to that area of your throat, notice that there's a field of energy there. It's not just a point, there's a field. And in the field, there's an area where the energy is stronger than elsewhere, typically right in the center. And if you get close enough to it, that becomes easy to feel. You get a sense of that? Okay. So put your attention right into the center of the strongest part of the energy field, and bring your awareness as close to that as you can get without it being overwhelming, and just allow yourself to notice it. Don't try and make it go away. Don't try and do anything to it. Just simply notice it. Normally you're not aware that this is even there, and so this is feeling something that you don't normally feel. And that's okay. And the intensity level of that central strongest part may seem to stay more or less the same for a little while. But as you just continue to kind of innocently notice it without trying to do anything to it, gradually it will start to soften and become less intense. And when that happens, let me know. And it's completely okay if it takes a while. We're not in a rush with this.
Okay.
Okay, getting a bit of a sense of it getting softer. Good. So that means we can get closer to it. So you do something that's a little bit like being on Google Maps. You kind of click in for a magnified view, bring your awareness closer to it. That'll make it seem stronger again, not because it is stronger, it's actually weaker, but just because you're closer to it, it will seem stronger again. So get as close to it as you can without it being overwhelming. And just keep the focus of your attention right into the center of that strongest part. And again, as you keep doing that, just innocently noticing the strongest part of the energy field, gradually again, it will start to soften. Yeah. And when it does, get closer again. And each time it softens, right away, get closer to it again. So this will continue to keep the energy level seemingly high, but it's just because you're getting closer and closer to it as it softens. So just keep doing that. And just before the energy is completely gone, the experience will start to change. It'll start to kind of dissolve and dissipate, and finally it'll just kind of vanish like the fog burning off in the morning sun, and it'll just dissipate and move away and be gone. And then you'll be back in that same quietness that you were noticing when you were looking off to the side of thoughts. Good morning. So you're kind of in that quietness now, all the energy gone? Okay, great. So you can open your eyes. Okay, very good. So this energy of the fear of punishment is now completed. There's still some of it left somewhere, like a backup copy or something. Oh, you got it. Okay, very good. So now say, I completely trust my intuition and I act on it every single time.
I completely trust my intuition and I act on it every single time.
Oh, very good. Oh, strong response. Good. So this is good. This means you can trust yourself more. Okay. Very hard to choose a new direction if you're doubting, yourself, because there's a distinction. There's a very important distinction between intellectual understanding and true knowing. Okay? Intellectual understanding is what we do with the mind. Knowing is something that we do with our awareness, with our senses, our body, and our awareness. Like, for example, if you'd never tasted a strawberry and somebody tried to describe it to you through intellectual understanding, they could talk all day and you'd never know, right? You got to actually take a bite and know to know what it tastes like. So like that, knowing is experiential and thinking is intellectual, right? So there's a tendency to slip into thinking you know what you want, and this can kind of dominate your awareness and actually cloud the picture so you don't get in touch with what you truly know. So now we've cleared up the basis of that happening. So now you have a much better sense of kind of knowing. Sometimes you'll just know something and you'll just feel it, yeah, that's right for me, And your intellect may not even get it. Your intellect might even object, say, no, wait a minute, you got to figure this out.
Yep.
But no, this is like, it feels right, and that's what we want. We want our decisions to be based on that inner knowing, kind of confidence from our true knowing. Okay, so this is great. So that's two barriers out of the way. Good job. Okay, so we got rid of the fear of uncertainty. We got rid of okay, there's one additional barrier. Yep. And let's see, where is it? Do you have a long-term sense of just being someone who's not clear about what you really want in your life?
Hmm.
Yeah. So what I'm just kind of thinking through and testing for is that you're almost like a little bit identified with being somebody who doesn't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like kind of part of your self-definition. We want to get rid of that. Yeah, because that'll definitely keep you stuck.
Yep.
So this is actually some kind of a fear, you know. It's just a sense of like a kind of self-defined sense of like, gee, I'm just kind of a person who just doesn't really know what she wants. It's more like that. Yeah, more like that. So we can resolve this. This has an energy to it, and it's one of these out technique cloud-like energies. Okay? Identifications are typically those kind of energies. So again, I'll guide you through the process of finding it, and we'll get outside of it like we did with the first one. Okay, and then that'll be resolved. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So go ahead and close your eyes again, and do that looking off to the side of the thoughts thing again, noticing the quietness in the background. And each time a new thought comes, notice the quietness, look off to the side and notice the quietness again. When you have a pretty good sense of the quietness, then just tell the body, show me the out technique energy of this identification with being a person who just doesn't really know what she wants. And again, pretty much immediately, the body will show you some kind of mist or cloud of energy radiates out from the body and just creates this kind of aura or cloud all around you. You get a sense of that? Yeah. It's a lot subtler. It's not as concentrated and localized as the in-technique energy. It's very different. Yeah. So again, let's just go see how big it is. Let your awareness move out through it and find the outer edge and the surrounding quietness. When you get access to the quietness, let me know. Got it already? And sometimes the clouds can be pretty big. If you just keep going, you'll find the quietness. Okay, so go a little bit deeper into the quietness to get the distinction between the quietness and the energy even more clear. And then go much, much deeper into the quietness, quite far away from the energy field. And again, allow yourself to notice how simply vast and limitless the quietness is. Get a sense of that? Yeah, just kind of endless. Okay, so now as you look back at the energy cloud that you were inside of just moments ago, what's happening to it now?
Shrinking.
Excellent. Exactly the answer we're looking for. So just stay out in the expansiveness of your awareness and just let that energy shrink and fade away. And you can see from out here that this energy is attached to a kind of notion that this state of being not clear is like self-defining, like it's a part of who you are. But from out here in pure awareness, that doesn't seem so true, right? I mean, there's none of that kind of feeling of being, of any need for any kind of self-definition. When you're out in the vastness of your awareness, it's like you don't need it. You don't need a sense of self. You are limitless. You can do anything. Pretty cool. Great. So just let the energy fade away, and when it's gone, you can open your eyes. Cool. So Catherine got all the energy of this sort of identification with being a person who's not clear about what she wants. This is gone now. Great. Okay. Excellent. So there's something else that's any kind of significant barrier, any barrier to Catherine having that clarity that she wants regarding her next adventure. No, we got them all. Okay, let's check it out. Your statement was, I'm clear and comfortable with knowing my next adventure in my life. Say that again.
I'm clear and comfortable in knowing my next adventure in my life.
Now you're strong for it. And you can hear it in your voice too. There's like a confidence there. That's great. It sounded very different. Excellent. Okay, this is great. Well, we still have plenty of time. If you want to clear up this anxiety thing, we can do that as well. Why not, huh?
That sounds good. I do have I didn't realize we might go over, so I have a 9 o'clock call, so I have to just
Okay. Okay.
be
Well,
done.
in that case, maybe we'll call it a day.
Okay.
And if you like, we can take the anxiety issue another time. I don't think it'll take us that long, but I don't want to. I don't want to get you too up close to your call. So,
Thank you.
you can see from doing this that there's an incredible value to getting good at doing these techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I've got something to make that extremely easy, which is there's a free app that you can download to your phone.
Okay.
It's on both platforms, Apple and Android, and it's called Awaken Your Inner Greatness. I'll send you links to the stores, and you can download it, and it's got this cool interface where you just swipe the screen to the right, and you can do that with your eyes closed, and it'll give you the next instruction.
Oh, cool.
And there's a little menu. Select the different techniques, including the locate technique that we use for finding the energy. It's a very cool app. You'll really like it. So I'll send you the link so you can download that. And you can use that for your ongoing support. And then if you feel you want some support for this anxiety issue, then just get back to me and we'll check it out. And also let's do a little bit of a follow-up in like a couple of weeks, just to kind of see how you're doing, to see if you're starting to really get that sense of clarity about what it is that your next adventure. I like the way you said that, my next adventure. So nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
You're so welcome. Have a wonderful day, and I'll drop you an email, and then we'll get in touch a little later and set up something for a couple of weeks.
Terrific. Thanks again. Take good care. Bye.